Hello, I'm Mayor Bliss, and this is my September Mayor's Monthly Update. So just a few items I want to touch on today as we enter September and the weather starts to cool a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't prevent you from still getting outside and enjoying the season. A couple big things though for this month. We only have about 3.5 weeks left to make sure that everyone gets counted for the census. So if you have not filled out your census yet, please do that. You can still go online and do it, or you can contact City Hall at 311 if you need assistance or if you have questions about that. Also encourage you to remind your family and your friends. It's really important that everyone gets counted. So many decisions are based on census data, not just around funding, but also around our elected representation, both in Lansing and in DC. And with that, we have a big election coming up in November, which I know you're aware of. Know that here at the city, we are doing everything we can to make sure that we are prepared for that. We expect a lot of people will be voting from home, which I encourage you to do because it is safe and it is simple. So we'll be sending out absentee ballots actually coming up at the end of September. If you want to get an application to apply for a ballot, you can do that by contacting the clerk's office. You can go online to get that, and then ballots will be mailed out. I encourage you, when you get your ballot, take the time you need to fill it out and then send it right back to us. And then you can track electronically online and see that we've received your ballot. If you're not comfortable mailing it, you can bring it right down here to City Hall and drop it off at the clerk's office, or we will have 7 secure drop boxes located throughout the city, and you can put them in the drop box and we'll be checking that box every single day and getting ballots that are left there. So expect more information coming out from the city as we gear up for the November election. The one thing I remind folks is that as more people vote from home, it takes longer to tally them at night, so we may not have the election results for you within an hour or two of the polls closing, but what's really important is we do our due diligence and we get all those ballots counted so that we can get an accurate count and results out as quickly as possible. We also need poll workers, so if you're interested in volunteering or working for the day, you can also contact us and you can be a part of this important process. A couple things on the ballot this year. Of course, we'll have a lot of races from the presidential race all the way down to our local races here around county commission, GRCC trustee, but we also have 2 local ballot questions that you will see on the ballot this year. So some folks in the community went out and they got petition signatures to put 2 questions on the ballot that would change our city charter. One of them being the elimination of the ability of a candidate to win with over 50% of the vote in August. And the second one would be to take our local elections and move them from odd years to even years. So those will be on the ballot, and hopefully you'll take some time to learn about those. I can tell you from my perspective, I have a lot of concerns about moving to an even year election. Local elections are nonpartisan, and I believe they should stay that way and not get caught up in all of the partisanship that we see so often with even year elections. This doesn't impact me. I'm term limited out. I'll continue to serve as your mayor for the rest of this term, and then I will say goodbye to this seat that I currently hold. But I do think it's important that we think long and hard before we change our local charter and our local form of government. A couple other just big things to touch on real quickly. We've had an uptick in crime this summer, gun violence. We're working really closely, our police department is, with our county prosecutor and our sheriff's department and Silent Observer. What we really need is all of us in the community to work to make sure that we have a safe community. And so we're strongly encouraging folks who know anything about any of the incidents that we've seen this summer to please share that information so that we can resolve those cases as quickly as possible. Know that it's a priority for us here at City Hall, but also for our police department to make sure that we all have safe neighborhoods to live in. And then finally, just as we continue to reopen our local economy, I've been very vocal with the governor's office and our elected officials about encouraging them to continue to support our small business owners. I do strongly believe that we can reopen and allow our businesses to reopen and do it safely. We have a lot of good data and we know what precautions we need to have in place in order to make sure people are safe. And I encourage you to support our small businesses and our local businesses as they try to weather this pandemic, and then also to please comply with the guidance and the requirements that those business owners ask of you. So it's important that we all continue to wear a mask, to mask up, to make sure that we're keeping our distance from folks, that we're washing our hands, that we are really doing everything we can to mitigate the spread of COVID while we try to re-engage and reopen our local economy and support our businesses. And with that, I hope you are staying safe and healthy, that even as the weather ticks down a little bit, that you still get out there and enjoy all that fall has to bring.